we don't have everybody yet. Give them a second.
What do you mean? Oh,
Yes. So we're going in July, Scandinavia, but now we're, for 2 weeks, but now we're thinking about, it's called Viking Ocean, but you're in the Baltic Sea. But now we're thinking of adding a couple of days to Edinburgh at the end. Flying over and doing something, so that in July, nowhere. Okay, we're gonna get ready here to call it to order. We're gonna start with the downtown, just so you're not scared here.
Are you ready? 'Cause
Downtown redevelopment.
I have to start the meeting. Are you ready?
Well, I'm just telling them quietly.
No,
Yes,
it's not mine,
please.
but-
Start the meeting for us, Liz.
Okay.
Would you please, Elizabeth?
I'll borrow it.
go ahead.
There you go.
Mine.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to call to order the meeting of the March 13th, 2024 meeting of the Safety Harbor Downtown Redevelopment Board at
7:23.
7:23. The first item is to approve the minutes of our last meeting, which was May 10th, 2023. Does anyone have any corrections,
Just minor.
deletions? Okay, there's some minor corrections.
Minor correction on the who was present. We have Liz Lindsay twice. So you might want to strike her.
Good eye.
once. Yeah.
You
Okay,
can strike it, I think, just mark
Okay.
it out and I'll fix it
Yeah.
on the back.
Yeah, she can.
okay, I'll strike it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in purple. Okay, is anybody else?
Roll call.
Roll call, can we have a roll call vote?
Sure. Well, I just want to do roll call.
Let's do it.
Ally Shaw,
Here.
Lorraine Duffy Suarez,
Here?
Susan Case,
Here.
Heather Young, or Heather Norton. Sorry. Colin Young,
Present.
Christina Novus, Miguel Hicks,
Here.
Caroline Allison.
Here.
Okay. Marcy, the items today, I believe, are these going to the city commission, this item on April the 1st, 2024? And this, Marcy, why don't you explain to us, because this is a different hat, we haven't had it in a year, since May last year, and some are new and haven't been participated before.
Sure, I can do that. So this evening is a meeting of the Downtown Redevelopment Board. The Planning and Zoning Board are serving in the capacity of the Downtown Redevelopment Board. And Lorraine's correct, this group meets about once a year. And I have a slide about this I can show you just to kind of set the stage, set the table of why we're here tonight. But here's the code section that covers the Downtown Redevelopment Board and the duties of the board. And it states that the Planning and Zoning Board acts in the capacity of a Downtown Redevelopment Board, and one of the duties of the board is to make recommendations to the City Commission as to the Safety Harbor Downtown Redevelopment Plan, as may be interpreted or amended from time to time. So tonight what we have before you is a Downtown Master Plan update, and what we would like to do is have you make a recommendation to both the CRA regarding a resolution and the City Commission regarding an ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Are you okay?
I'm ready,
Can I
yep,
continue?
now everyone
Yeah,
knows, and
sure.
now please show us what's changing.
Super, I can do that. So I have a couple slides to go over briefly regarding community redevelopment districts. And here in Safety Harbor, we've had a community redevelopment district since 1992. They are governed by Florida state statutes in Chapter 163. Pinellas County is a charter county, and they have delegated the powers and authority to the city. The City Commission is the Community Redevelopment Agency, and the Planning and Zoning Board is the Downtown Redevelopment Board. Here is a map of the downtown area, the Community Redevelopment District. So it extends up here, and then down and around, and here. So it initially started in the dark gray area of 108 acres, and then it was later expanded to the light gray area, another 48 acres, in 2009. Here is a map of the character districts, and character districts are essentially zoning districts for the downtown. So when you see development proposals in the downtown, we'll often mention these different character districts. We have a downtown master plan. We have had one for many years. Tonight before you is, we have a resolution 2024-01 CRA for the CRA to approve modifications to the downtown master plan and make a recommendation to the City Commission. Then we have ordinance 2024-07 for the City Commission to accept the CRA recommendation and amend the downtown master plan. Both of them have the same exhibit, and the exhibit has information regarding tax increment financing projections and also a 10-year project list. Here's some key dates about the Community Redevelopment District. It was created in 1992 for a 30-year time horizon. In 2021, we began the process to extend the sunset date, and we've been working with Pinellas County ever since then. And Pinellas County approved an ordinance to extend the Community Redevelopment District for 1 year to prepare the downtown master plan. We prepared the plan, we resubmitted it to Pinellas County, and they indicated they wanted more details. They wanted a list of projects by year, by policy, and cost estimates for 10 years. And so we went back and we worked on that, and that's why we're here tonight. And so we have, your hearing is tonight. The Community Redevelopment Agency and City Commission first reading are April 1st, and then April 15th will be the second reading of the ordinance. After that, we will send it to Pinellas County, and they will adopt an ordinance. So let's talk about the details of Exhibit A. The first is regarding tax increment financing projections. Tax increment financing is common in a community redevelopment area, and from the date of the start of the CRA in 1992, any increase in taxable property tax value goes into a fund, and that money is used for projects in the downtown. And so we have projections on that, and we also have a project list. I wanted to share with you Pinellas County's policies regarding CRAs. They adopted this a few years ago, and based on the types of projects that we conduct in the Safety Harbor Community Redevelopment District, we are eligible for an economic development designation type. We can extend for 10 years, and the county will give a base contribution of 50% of the available amounts. And then the city has determined that we will then also do 50%. So here are the tax increment financing revenue projections. Here's the county projection, and then the city, the city projection for a grand total of over $11 million over the course of 10 years. And this will run through 2032. And then we have a project list, and this is listed by different objectives that are in the downtown master plan. And we're not changing any of the objectives, those are remaining the same, but we have prepared a project list by objective as requested by Pinellas County. The items in yellow show items that would be eligible for Pinellas County funding, and then there are also some projects that are listed without the yellow highlight where we would use city TIF dollars. And so you might say, well, where do these project ideas come from? They are based on input we've received from the public. We had a Main Street design study recently. We also had a bicycle pedestrian master plan, and also discussions about the downtown master plan in 2020, last year, actually. We had that public meeting. So that's where the ideas came from. So staff put this together. And the first would be a Rigsby Center Stormwater Treatment Educational Area. The second is a Veterans Memorial Park seawall upgrade, downtown Washingtonian palm tree replacements and new tree plantings, Main Street landscaping upgrades here, adding new security surveillance cameras in parks. Then on to objective 2 for improving parking and mobility, new sidewalk construction, ADA ramps along Main Street. That's a big one that's come up several times in our studies. The installation of bricks at Main Street intersections. Parking agreements for leases with private property owners to provide parking in the CRD. That is another project here. Offering incentives such as matching grants, waivers, or reimbursements through the Downtown Partnership Program for renovations of buildings and landscaping and murals. Parking lot and park at 2nd Street and 6th Avenue South, and that has $450,000 that is proposed in fiscal year 2026. Waterfront park lighting improvements. This is an idea that came out of the Planning and Zoning Board. People have remarked that the lighting at Waterfront Park was a little bright, and that they would like to see that toned down some for dark skies and for wildlife. And so that is what that project is for. And promoting down payment and closing cost assistance for first-time home buyers. We have a staff position to assist businesses and promote businesses and help businesses locate in downtown. Wayfinding signage, that's something that's been very important to the chamber, and they indicated they would like very much to replace the wayfinding signage. And I say that it's the posts with the business names that you see when you're walking up and down Main Street. They would like to see a new design, those to be replaced with something more modern, current looking. gateway signage at South Bay Shore and 10th Avenue and Main. Those two are both from the Main Street Design Study. Then we have encouraging residents with a primary market area to patronize downtown businesses through joint advertising program. And we have Locks of Love public art installation in Waterfront Park. I don't know if you guys have seen those types of art installations where people put locks sometimes on a bridge or other structures. And then expand the Safety Harbor Library to add a second level. That project has begun, but is reflected here. Artificial turf at the gazebo is here, and then museum displays. And so that is the list of project types. So this evening, what we are seeking from you is a recommendation to the CRA regarding Resolution 2024-01 CRA and Draft Ordinance 2024-07. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcy. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak to this resolution or the ordinance? No, nobody? Seeing nobody here, guess we'll close that, the public portion of that, and I will see if there's anyone on the board who has any comments, questions.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Oh, well, I guess you differ with me.
Okay, that's fine.
No. And does anybody else have questions?
I'd like to make a motion.
I'm gonna go. No.
You're gonna say what?
Oh, I have questions. I was just letting everybody else
I'll
ask.
let you some question. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
ask my questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to let everyone else
Go
ask a
ahead.
question first. Marcy, so one question I have is with this, and I believe it's a reduction in the TIF funding, right, from Pinellas County?
Yes, Pinellas County adopted that policy based on the CRA type, and we are in the 50% maximum group.
And where were we before?
They didn't have that before.
We got 100% of the?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, the city did 100, the county did 100, and then the county changed their policy. It was about 3 years ago. And they worked with us. They let us know as they were studying it. They studied it for about 2 years, and they let us know, kept us in the loop, and that is the determination. I can show you the policy and explain it better. There it is. Went too fast. So they have different types and different projects. And so if you meet something like the urban revitalization, then you can get 70%. And some of those include affordable housing and some other projects that we don't have in our project list.
Well, and I understand all of that. What my interest is that we had CRA plan, we had this plan based on funding 100% of the tax deferred coming to us from the county, and we would match with 100% of ours, and we can still use 100% of ours in the CRA, right? We can still use our own money.
The city could select to use 100%. It is the recommendation of staff and the city manager to match what Pinellas County is doing, which is 50%.
So we made a couple of major purchases in the CRA. The city has notably the Baranoff Oak for $1 million, and more recently, the lot on 6th for almost $1 million. And my recollection was that the debt for that was going to be paid out of CRA funding. And that once we finished paying off the Baranoff Oak, we were going to start paying off the $1 million almost for that lot. And now we're not getting as much money from, now we probably knew that when we did the purchase of the lot on 6th and 2nd, but not when we bought the Baranoff. And I guess I'm not seeing, how did that get reflected here, that we're not getting as much money as we were? Or we cut projects out?
So this is, the CRA was going to sunset at 30 years. And so it was going to stop. The money was going to end. So this is the next chapter. This is 10 more years. So to us, it's thinking about it newly with the goals. So I don't see it as we didn't fulfill. We did a lot of projects over a 30-year period. Yeah.
Well, no. I understand that. I guess when I heard we were buying the Baranoff, it's, we're going to use CRA money. We're using TIF money. We're using TIF money. And that was a big pot of money. And so we could still do all the good things we want to do, because we get this much money.
Sure.
Now we're only getting this much money. So were there other good things that we were gonna do that we can't do now because we're not getting as much money? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know, I'm sorry. No, and we are gonna pay off those debts, it's with CRA. I just didn't
Yeah.
mention that. I just mentioned more than, I thought you guys might be interested more in the new stuff. But those debts will be paid off as well.
Right,
So
but were there
that
any
won't
other
stop.
projects we thought we would do, but now we don't have as much money to do it?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not aware of anything that we aren't getting to. But you're welcome to peruse the downtown master plan objectives and see if there's something in there that you thought you were hoping to see. And let us know.
I think they're working with the budget, okay?
Yes, I agree.
In creating their priorities and going forward and doing the projects in that manner.
Yeah, and I
That's what's
agree, I
going
mean, I
on.
know that, I just
And
wanted
if
to
there's
know if
something
we
that
were.
you're hoping to see, let us know. We'd be happy to share that with the city commission, because that's as a draft at this time.
Right,
So we worked to create a diverse list of goals that fit within the objectives of the downtown master plan, and trying very much to listen to the Main Street design study and bicycle pedestrian
And
master
Marcy,
plan.
the purchase of the Baranoff tree lot and the purchase on Sixth Avenue lot have already been budgeted in past.
Yes, those are
budgets.
budgeted,
And
yes.
that's,
right, but
yes.
they're paying it out of these funds.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, they're coming out of this pocket of money. We're not seeing it because we're only seeing projects. It's also coming out of that same $11 million, right, 5 something and
Well,
5
It
something.
is
probably-
actually on page 21, I
Oh,
just didn't
thank you.
present it to you. So under, if you look at, under objective 6, where the table ends, then you'll see some other items, city programs administration, debt for Baranoff Oak,
Okay,
debt for Second Street, and then, so it's in there, I just didn't present it to you.
And when is that gonna sunset? Pretty soon, right?
What's
Oh.
gonna sunset? Oh, the Baranoff, so the Baranoff Oak payments stop in 2028,
Okay.
but and then the second and sixth stop in fiscal year 30.
right,
So they're projected within the
10 years.
extension of the CRA.
Yes.
Right.
And those purchases were made before under the assumption that the existing CRA was going to potentially end, and Pinellas County elected not to allow us to renew it, right?
No.
We've been planning on, requesting an extension of the sunset date for many years.
Right, okay, but Pinellas County could have decided not to give us an extension.
That's
Yes,
correct.
and then we
Yeah.
would have been responsible for,
Right.
especially the Baranoff, for sure.
Right, the Baranoff, the new lot, that, when the new lot was purchased, the discussion on that was, oh, we'll use, once we pay off the Baranoff, we will use the CRA funding to
Right.
pay that off, had it stopped. But again, you know, it's an opportunity cost, we're paying that off instead of doing something else. And then my only other observation is the $500,000 for the, and it's in fiscal year 31 for the Rigsby Center Stormwater Treatment Educational Area. With all due respects, $500,000 seems to me to be a lot of money. We have the, I guess we would call it, is that a stormwater educational area over by the Veterans Park that you can look down?
Oh, the Veterans Park. Oh, this is Rigsby. but
Yeah,
you're-
I know, but
you're asking about-
we already have sort
Oh,
of an
that thing where you look over yeah, you can look into.
When it's
and
not
see what's-
cloudy and the
what's coming
water's
on
not-
Under, yes. Have you guys seen that? It's on South Bay Shore. You can see down, and you can see what's coming through the stormwater, yeah.
Right.
So yes, it's signage. They might do some kind of, there's a dock there and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, from my opinion, that $500,000 could be used towards something maybe more tangible for the city. If we want to see water treatment, we can go look in the hole.
Yeah.
So,
It also seems like a very expensive project for.
right, I
what
mean,
it
if we
is.
need to do water treatment, let's do it, but I don't think, you know, we don't need to spend $500,000 to educate people about it. We can send them a flyer. Okay, so I would, sorry.
No, that's a
I'm
good
kind of
point.
cheap. Okay, I'm kind of cheap that way.
The webcam
Okay.
and the one by the marina.
Okay, does anybody else have any observations?
Is
or
the
comments?
proposed agricultural park on Elm Street?
That's outside of the downtown, so it's not eligible.
Okay.
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 Actually, I do have a question about artificial turf at the gazebo. Why artificial turf? It's environmentally not a great idea. And I don't, how did we come up with that?
The Leisure Services Department is recommending it. It's a heavily used public space. They've got, there are a lot of events there, weddings and stuff, so I presume it's for, because of the wear and tear on the grass and trying to keep the grass alive. But, but tonight is your opportunity. If you feel like if any of these projects should not be funded, then just let us know. We'd be happy to report anything that you say or wish to say to the commission.
I mean, I don't know a good alternative.
I
I
don't
too
either.
was concerned, but I have gone there and I've seen
Yeah,
how heavy, it's not even that we rent it out, it's just, we have, the city hosts a lot of events
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
it just, people put their lawn chairs up and it looks kind of ragtag, no offense to the leisure services, because I know they're trying to keep it up, but I know.
I feel like the
what's-
artificial turf will end up that way too, but it's,
Well,
Some of them are real high quality, and they have like the holes,
Drainage, yeah.
Oh,
drainage,
yeah.
so they're,
I'm sure there'll be something
there's still,
pervious, but.
still maintenance
Really
involved
hot.
with
So hot, yeah.
it. And it does contribute microplastics to the environment. It's,
Ms. Stenmark, did the city change the code section to allow for artificial grass?
So there was a discussion, and it was determined not to amend the code,
point.
but to allow turf as long as it drains properly and it doesn't impact trees, so.
Without a variance?
Yeah, there's no
Okay.
permit required to build turf.
The code is silent, is
The
my
code is
recollection.
silent to
It's
turf.
already silent on it. So
Yeah.
then some people took it, that it was silent means it wasn't allowed.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're saying is it's silent so it can happen.
Okay. Okay.
The Locks of Love public art installation, is that continuing to allow locks to be placed on our boardwalk? Or is it
So
a
a
new-
structure would be created for the locks. They haven't
Dedicated.
determined yet what it will be.
those can look junky sometimes.
Yeah, I would oppose
Yeah.
that one.
The cable rail, I walk the pier,
Yes,
pier a
it's
lot, and the cable rail
vandalism.
is already collecting locks, and I worry about the
Gross.
detriment and the weight to
And
that.
that's why I think they are proposing this. People want to put those locks up
Right.
someplace. So putting them,
Yeah.
giving people a place to put the locks versus
I would
having
do
them
away
put
with
them on
that.
the cable.
Quite a bit of money too, just for a place for people to put locks on.
I've seen them in cities that can be kind of romantic, when you see them on reality shows.
Oh my God.
It's a date, I don't know.
But that's kind of evolved, and we would be forcing it, and I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
And how
Yeah,
much
so
is that?
If you,
100.
That's a lot for, yeah, that's a lot, yeah.
that's a lot of money for,
I'd rather see
not half
an
a million.
original art piece or something, if we're gonna spend money on that, a cool sculpture or something.
Sure. I can tell you about that. There was funding for an original public art piece at
Right.
Waterfront Park. And they solicited entries from artists. And the city commission looked at the submittals a couple times. And what was submitted, they didn't feel was what they would want to have in Waterfront Park. So then we got a donation. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's near the
the
shade
hands.
structure, and it's the hands, and they're in the form of a globe. That's what ended up getting placed in there. So I think they're thinking of the next chapter for public art that people would enjoy.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments, concerns, random thoughts?
I did about the city engaging in contracting with the local businesses to buy out their parking, lease out their parking. How is that going to operate?
So we would, how the Main Street Design Study states is that we would find partners, like essentially the church there on Second.
I don't own a downtown business, is that business owners have to have certain allotted or designated parking spots based on their occupancy. I do know of a potential project that may be coming, I don't know where it is, but for a food court. And where is that parking going to come from? Because now we're talking about a Saturday afternoon crowd every day of the week in downtown Safety Harbor.
But I think when I look at this proposal, it's more so like a business, like a church, that typically isn't open.
Understand
So
that.
it's not like we would go
I understand that,
approach-
but what the hole the city is stepping in here is if this food court goes through and it's approved, and we rely on that paying for parking, isn't the city now paying for parking Monday through Friday? Plus
We
Saturdays?
don't have to. We would only make an agreement, I mean, I guess when I worked at the school district in Hillsborough, I handled that kind of proposal where somebody needed part-time parking, overflow parking in the school, and we could provide that to them when it suited us, not just all the time. If the city is going to permit a use, that use would need to have parking.
Yes.
This is more so for the crowd control on other days. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be
I understand
every
that.
week. You'd have people parking at a school or at a church or someplace.
Yeah, I think any business coming in would still need to meet the parking
The
requirements.
minimum
Right.
requirements, yeah.
Yes, right.
But how do you do that with downtown? I mean, a lot of these buildings don't have parking
Yeah,
lots.
oh, yeah, yeah.
My point being is that it's an expensive temporary fix for a problem that really is a long-term problem that is not being looked at. And there must be some kind of reason why the commission or the city is not making eye contact with that problem. And I'd say, well, all due respect, because I know there's information I don't have access to, but I think we need to encourage the city to fix the parking problem, because I don't know how many of you avoid downtown on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I do, because I can't go downtown without it being a traffic jam and just absolute anarchy.
I come down all the time, and I don't
I
find a
I
problem.
avoid it, and I
I know,
don't.
but
And
I'm
I
down
know I
all the
can't
time.
be alone,
I
and
know.
I know I'm not alone,
I understand.
because my neighbors complain about this. And they say, when is the city going to address parking? So I think we need to encourage the commission to look at longer-term permanent solutions rather than short-term expensive solutions to the parking problem.
I do believe
And-
that they are. I've been to a few commission meetings where it's been brought up that, considering purchasing available lots, that it's on the radar.
I'm
I
personally
don't know
not
if there's a
convinced,
solution.
yeah, I'm not convinced there actually is a parking problem outside of special events.
Special events are.
We
And
did a
that's-
parking study a couple of years ago, the Planning and Zoning Board did. And we had Survey Monkey, we asked people, and then we personally, on this board, went out with clipboards on 2 events and talked to people and said, did you have problems parking today? Where are you coming from? And and the results were, during events, there's a lot of parking problems. But when there's not an event, it's kind of crowded. We have more restaurants, so it is more crowded, I would agree, in certain parts of downtown. So you can't always park right in front of Tiki Tavern.
Oh, I agree with you there, but the problem is, it's not just on Main Street and the parking problems there. On our side streets are reduced to a 1-lane road, and you're getting 2 lanes of traffic. So just tonight, for example, I had to wait at the end of the block over there on my way driving in for cars to pass by so that I could go into the lane and make it here.
There's traffic, I agree.
So what are we doing to alleviate that issue? And what's the city doing to alleviate that issue?
I can say this, that I read through this redevelopment priority projects, and as part of their priority projects, they are addressing the parking issues, whether it be Ubering people downtown or buying lots that can be used for parking, or making parking agreements with other business owners, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a priority for the commission.
There's a lot of businesses that aren't open. And I think we would be well-served coming to an agreement with some of those businesses. I use the church and the school. They generally aren't open in the evening. They're available, and now we're putting aside money to try to do that. That is, as a resident and taxpayer, a more efficient way than doing a bond to build a parking garage that people seem to think is the answer to downtown. And when the parking is only crowded really during an event, and maybe Saturday night or Friday night.
And we do have vast expanses of asphalt around the city
Yes.
that are just
Sitting
there
empty.
unused. Like near 10th and Main, there's a
Yeah.
little office complex there. It's completely empty after 5 o'clock.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
places that, anyway, at this point, we have something, is there anything on this that's in front of us that we could address more? Does anybody have anything else? Somebody gonna make a motion?
Yes, I will. Is this, can you put it on the board there? Because got too much paperwork here.
I
You got it?
Here, it's, I don't know if you can read my writing.
Yeah. 24,
Yeah,
010.
25,
Okay.
There we
I
are.
make, thank you. I make, yeah, it's a lot of
better up there.
paperwork tonight, folks. I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-01 CRA, and make a motion to approve Ordinance 2024-07.
Would you be willing to amend that to delete the Rigsby Center Stormwater Treatment Educational Area?
Yeah, can we
Half,
make,
the $500,000 project
and the locks of love?
and the Locks of Love? Would you include that in your motion?
Okay, I'll include that in the motion, to delete the Rigsby project of educational sewer.
Stormwater
sewer
treatment, educational.
Okay. And to eliminate the Locks of Love, what do you want to call it?
Structure.
Structure in the waterfront park.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll second that, yeah.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're gonna do a roll call.
Let's see, Ally Shaw,
Yes?
Heather Norton,
Yes.
Susan Case,
Yes.
Lorraine Duffy Suarez,
Yes?
Colin Young,
Yes.
Christina Novisk,
Yes.
Miguel Hicks.
Okay, thank you. We have approved both the resolution and the ordinance, is that correct?
We need two motions though. for-
Okay. I wondered about
We need two separate motions?
It's like, I didn't think it was always done. Yeah, I would, so we'll take that previous one, the motion, and we can do by affirmation that you agree that your former vote and motion was for the resolution.
Okay.
And then we'll ask if you'll make the same motion to approve the ordinance.
Okay.
So first, if I can just get all in favor that the first motion, if we can all affirm that the first motion was approving the resolution?
Yes,
Yes, aye.
that's
Yes.
unanimous.
Okay, thank you. And then now we'll do, if we can repeat
Okay.
your motion for the ordinance, excluding the Rigsby Stormwater Project and the Locks of Love installation.
So you want me to say that all over again? Okay.
I can say it and you can just say, yes, that's correct. So
Okay,
it's a
go ahead.
motion to approve ordinance, to recommend approval of ordinance 2024-07 with the modifications of removal of the Rigsby Stormwater Project and the Locks of Love installation.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
Okay, thank
We have
you.
a motion and second, and all those in favor?
Yes, you can do
Yes,
that.
we already affirmed, but we've
Unanimous, okay.
done, it's unanimous. Anonymous. Okay, this is I am going to close the meeting of the Safety Harbor Downtown Redevelopment Board. And without further ado, switch a couple papers here, and,
All right. We have to
yep,
do our thing.
hold on a moment, please.